Qapla!
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Hiroki. Oh, that's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
You come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. Here to make war, we surrender. Falsehood, important things are needed new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. That means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before, or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Birdo Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Birdo Prey 5, Qapla, and welcome to Deep Space Nine Wednesday for June 23rd, 2021, aka Charlie's birthday, Charlie's first birthday. Happy birthday, Charlie baby. No longer a baby, officially a toddler. As of 8:40 what, Mamo Pray? As of 8:49 a.m. this morning, Charlie has been on the Earth officially one rotation around the sun. On the Earth outside his mom's body for one rotation around the sun. So a great start to the morning. Although Charlie's not here, we did call Charlie and sing him happy birthday. And then some more good news this afternoon. Finally, I knew it could be done. It took a lot longer than I thought, but finally, after weeks and all types of favors and measures and whatever called in, a cardiologist has agreed to see me in my home this weekend. But first, even better, I have a telehealth appointment with them to get the nonsense out of the way. And that telehealth appointment is at 6 p.m. today, which means 2 hours from now, which means, DS9 doesn't usually go more than 90 minutes, but we certainly aren't going long today. So that's good news, and knock wood, hopefully this begins my comeback. Now, I have not heard from Anti-Tracker. I know he was due to have his operation a few hours ago. I hope he is doing well. And everyone else out there, I know there are people in the community right now that are having their own medical issues, and my heart and whatever I can do goes out to them. But for me, today was the day I got the news that things are looking good. Now, I don't like to jinx them. So I'm just keeping fingers crossed and knocking wood and all that stuff that people do. But we did get an okay, and yeah. So thank you to everybody who has held me in their prayers and sent good vibes and whatever else for this cardiologist. The actual cardiologist did not come from a YouTuber, although I do thank everybody on YouTube who tried and tried. This actually came through a family friend. So I thank them, obviously, very much as well. But I can't say that there's any specific, this doesn't come from any specific YouTube member, but it doesn't matter. It's happening. That's all that matters. So with that out of the way, Josh Street at 9:34 a.m. first in the chat said Bird of Prey is going to be 6 hours late to his own stream again. And then not Ryan Johnson says Bird of Prey is the definition of late. 47 Yorktown said happy birthday to Charlie. Thank you, 47 Yorktown. And then I'm going to do the most terrible thing I can do and skip to the chat that YouTube has since saved. At 2:05 p.m., Hector says to Josh Street, you know the rules and so do I. YouTube guidelines notwithstanding, the audience isn't ready for a 2-foot, 2-inch little person cursing like a sailor, so he can't be fired until 5.5 matures to norm. I have no idea. I guess that's talking about Nephew O'Prey. I'm not fully sure. 54.5 Access Radio says breaking news. The leader of Karoga, God Emperor Bird O'Prey, has named his nephew, Charlie, Viceroy of New Jersey on the first anniversary of his birth. I would never damn Nephew O'Prey with that title. Josh Street says, 54.5 Access Radio, Bird O'Prey just give Charlie Karoga, since Karoga's in New Jersey. No fake news. Actor says lies. His Birdsey. Bird O'Prey affirms that Karoga has sovereign territories all around the planetary plane. Wow. Okay. Josh Street says, remember, if you want Bird O'Prey to read your comment, put at Bird O'Prey in front of your comment so Sleeping O'Prey 5 doesn't show up. Richie Poole says, hello world. It's time for part 2. Yes. So today we are watching Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Season 5, Episode 15, By Inferno's Light. This is the second half to the story that began in Purgatory Shadow last week. The second half of the episode, we start out with the Dominion fleet having just come through the wormhole, and nobody knows what's going to happen. It was only a 1 week, wait for us. This wasn't a season finale. It was just a single week. But even so, I was like, what's going to happen? Are they going to fight? Is there going to be a battle? We didn't know. Richie Poole says, is the Bird O'Prey 5 we've come to love and admire so much the real Bird O'Prey 5, or is he really a changeling? I'm not a changeling. Josh reads, Bird O'Prey, we demand the episode Dr. Bashir, I presume, in the screening room only after this episode. Well, next week's episode is Dr. Bashir, I presume. So that will be next week. Josh says, remember to go to the Bird screening room to watch the episode while Bird O'Prey is watching the stream episode or movie at www.birdofprey5.com/SR. Yes, at the screening room. And there's the link. You can watch the episode with us. Otherwise, you can watch it on your own. It's available on Hulu, on Amazon Prime Video, on Netflix, and Paramount Plus. Richie Pools' Bird of Prey made us all wait 1 whole week to see the awesome conclusion to this 2-part story A wise, if somewhat cruel decision on his part. Well, it was just the way things had to be. I'm sorry. Captain Trek says hello. Hello, Captain Trek. Richie Poole says goodbye, world. I must go back to work now. Qapla. Take care, Richie. Thank you. Aravic Sander. Qapla. Aravic Sander. John DeMarco says greetings. William Jackson says hail all and good job, Bird. I hope you mean, maybe you mean, I did update the opening credits slightly. I put in a new timer, a new countdown timer, so there's no, the countdown timer now starts immediately at the beginning of the video, so there's no tease that it's only 10 seconds and then goes to 2 minutes. You start from the beginning. Plus, I added the new scene, the short clip of the incredible kill I got yesterday in Call of Duty Warzone. So it's not as fun without the audio, but if you go to my Twitter, I did post the video onto Twitter. Or if you go to yesterday's stream, around the 48-minute mark is where that clip comes from. And John Araki with a $1 super chat, and Gogo13, aka Brandon the Infinite Wolf, has become a Karogan citizen. Qapla Gogo, thank you so much for becoming the newest citizen of Karoga, which means I'll have to update the credits, but that's not a problem. I'm happy to do it. Happy to do it, to add your name to the citizens list. And thank you, John Araki. You got some eyebrow dax there. Mike Richards is greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. Milton Knowles, the insane Witch King, says, I woke up this morning and found out my house was minus 5 degrees C. But then I turned on my heating and put some steak and cheese pies in the oven, and now my beard is warm and my house is too. How does your house get below freezing, Milton? Where do you live? Rock Solid Productions says there's already more movement in this video than Life with Matthew's bike ride. I was in and out of Life with Matthew's bike ride, but I can see that. 47 Yorktown says, hello, young sir. Hello, 47 Yorktown. William Jackson is saying, ouch. And there goes the reason. A happy first, Charlie. Eastland Burkholder says, for real, Milton? Yeah, that is cold. Rock Solid puts in a lot of hashtags. Thank you, Rock Solid. F soft putty, indeed. Hashtag Jadzia is the ultimate Dax. Okay, I'll give it to you. I'm feeling good today. Actor says, wait, DJ made a video 4 days ago saying it was Charlie's birthday. What's happening? Well, he did it early. Today is technically Charlie's birthday. See, Sisso Prey had planned a party for over the weekend with her friends, so having Deeja's video would have been played at her party, but unfortunately her party got canceled because her friend's kids got sick. William Jackson says, nice boss. Thank you, William. Mike Richards says, congratulations. Thank you, Mike. Tim Possible says, hey there, Qapla, Tim Possible. Actor says, Bird, you evil dodo is skipping. Yeah, I gotta finish this early so I can get ready for my doctor's appointment. Dee Dee Myers says, Qapla, hope you and family are doing well. Thank you, Dee Dee. Hope you are doing well. Captain Trek says hello to Dee Dee. John DeMarco says, happy birthday to Charlie. What do we got here? The Random Menace is here. Qapla. And Nicole says, no show, no start. Well, the black screen, yeah, unfortunately, I erased the video that had the screen that showed the title screen, and I had to redo it really quickly because I was busy this whole last hour and a half getting ready for the doctor appointment that's this evening and setting up the appointment for Sunday, that I didn't have time to fix usually I manually add a title card to the beginning of the video so you don't get a black screen like that, but there was just no time today. So once I start the video, the screenshots will start. The Random Menace is greetings from the future. Today I can see, so I will watch. Awesome. Milton says if it gets colder, I might have to shut my windows. Milton, if it's below zero, below freezing in your house, you should already be shutting your windows. Qapla Golgo 13. Michael Garak says, howdy you all. Howdy, Michael. Nicole says, may fate favor you well. Indeed. What do we got? Dee Dee says, to Gogo, afternoon, hope you're doing well. Gogo says, glad to help you in ways I can. Thank you, Gogo. Michael Garrick says, hail Karoga, this time of year too. Yeah, well, maybe they're in the southern hemisphere where it's winter. I don't know. Maybe they live on top of a mountain. Nicole says, we want the show. Yes, we're going to start very quickly. John Araki says, breaking news, Dr. Fauci now voices doubts that Anti-Trekker was hospitalized by gallstones. He now signals support for the discredited Karogan assassination attempt theory. I can neither confirm nor deny this. John Araki says, hashtag free Gina or free Gina and hashtag free cardiology. That would be something, although I don't know if I'd go to a free cardiologist. Captain Track says, for those who missed my stream today, Zach Leary was on the panel. And yeah, Captain Track had an amazing panel discussion today. A lot of deep Trek and sci-fi talk. John Araki says, hashtag cancel Hillram and hashtag stay sassy. Rockslide Bird of Prey, I'm not saying the Enterprise should be hauling garbage. I'm saying it should be hauled away as garbage. You son of a bitch. Mike Garrick says, yeah, where the heck is he? Australia. Boy. And Gogo says, by Inferno's light, which is the perfect time to start the episode. Yes. So head on over to the screening room, and yeah, you know what? That's something I forgot to do, was start the screening room. So I'm going to go ahead there. Now, luckily, I did save the link to the file that I uploaded. Okay. So, and now I made all the windows go away. Okay. Add. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and start at 5. Oh, Rock's Odds is Bird of Prey by Grap Thor's Hammer. Wow, what a savings. Wow. Yeah. You don't want to be a washed up sci-fi actor. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Loading it up. Last time on Star Trek Deep Space Nine, one of our listening posts in the Gamma Quadrant went silent. Cardassian military code. It was Garak. There's a call from help from Enabran Tain. Worf says there's only one reason for Dominion to hold the fleet so close to Wormhole. Cisco says there's no way to beat the Dominion. The only hope is to prevent them from entering the Alpha Quadrant. And she's like, you destroy the wormhole. And now Ducat's trying to get Zial to go with him. He's like, it's you. It's that Taylor, isn't it? You don't want to leave. For him. And this is internment camp 371. You're here because your enemies of the Dominion. And Tain is saying, you're not my son. The real Dr. Bashir is there. And then we have Worf fighting the Martok, fighting the Jem'Hadar. The changeling that replaced him said, Hail Turtistan, it's a grave dishonor. And now the Bashir changeling screwed up the emitter arrays, and instead of collapsing the wormhole, it can never be collapsed. It's permanently open. Battle stations. And now the conclusion. And we see all these ships coming through the wormhole. Jem'Hadar ships. And it's just the Defiant, the Station, and Ducat's bird of prey. Releasing docking clamps, shields up, power to phasers and quantum torpedoes. Bring them around. Why is like half the senior staff goes on the Defiant. Cisco stays on the Station. Dax is Ducat's bird of prey is in position. Nobody fires till they get their orders from Cisco. Dax says there sure are a lot of them. Kira says it just makes it harder for them to miss. They're not responding to their hails. Cisco says they're trying to intimidate us. O'Brien says it's working. He says, I don't believe it. The Dominion ships are turning away from the station. They're laying a new course. Straight for Cardassia. Oh. They're like, phew. Ducat's ship is breaking formation. He's going after the Dominion fleet. She's opened a channel. Ducat, stop trying to be a hero. And he was looking sideways for some reason. He's like, your concern is touching. I'm not attacking the fleet. I'm joining the fleet. She's like, what are you talking about? I have a confession. He has a confession. For the past few months, he's been conducting secret negotiations between Dominion and Cardassia. And as of last week, Cardassia agreed to become part of the Dominion. Kira says, you can't be serious. She said, goodbye. You and I on the same side never seemed quite right. Did it? And she's like, lock phasers, open fire. But he's gone to warp. Too late. And the opening credits. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Got a call. Okay, so doctor update. Don't worry, still have a doctor. It's just that this evening's tele session was pushed back to a few hours later. So I actually have a little more time, which really doesn't affect anything, but okay. Sorry about that. So they're showing how they sent the message. They want to activate the transporter and beam themselves onto the ship. Garak knows how to do it, one circuit at a time. Well, Bashir is not an engineer, and neither is Worf. But Garak is a man of many hidden talents. Garak says it's nice to feel needed. Josh Street says, Bird of Prey, why did Karoga join the Dominion? We didn't. We didn't. We are the Dominion. Drock Solid says, Bird of Prey, better to be a washed up sci-fi actor than a never was YouTuber. Like me. Come on, Rock Solid. You're not a never was. All the Cardassians are stepping forward. Hostilities have ended. Cardassia has joined the Dominion. They're all being sent home. Congratulations on your new status as Dominion citizens. So Garak gives a look to Bashir. Oh, not you, Mr. Garak. He says, excuse me. You're staying. He's like, there must be some understanding. He is Cardassian. Apparently not a very popular one. Not with the head of the new Cardassian government. Gul Dukat. Oh, yeah, I guess he's staying. And we got Gul Dukat on a giant screen. And he says, should we fear joining Dominion? He said, not in the least. We should embrace the opportunity. The Dominion recognizes us for the true leaders of the Alpha Quadrant. And so now everybody's watching this all across the galaxy. The only people with anything to fear are their enemies. His son's birthday's in 5 days. He makes the following pledge. By the time his birthday dawns, there will not be a Klingon alive inside Cardassian territory, or a Maquis colony left within our borders. Cardassia will be made whole. All that they have lost will be ours again. And anyone who stands in their way will be destroyed. This he vows with his life's blood. His life's blood. For his son and all their sons. Very patriarchy. Very patriarchal. Says, tell me it's a bad dream. It's no dream. And the Cat Man, D.D. Myers, has renewed their membership now 9 months in a row. Thank you, D.D. Myers. 9 months as a Karogan citizen. So now O'Brien is saying that the nothing can collapse the wormhole now. There's no way to collapse the wormhole anymore. And Bashir says, looks like it's time for another round of blood screenings. And he's like, yeah, there's been a Bajoran maintenance engineer has been missing ever since the fleet arrived. So Cisco wants blood screenings and phaser sweeps. If he's out there, they've got to find him. And Dr. Bashir is just laughing all the way to the bank. Because he's in the perfect position. He gives the blood screenings. Now, Garak says that this would make a wonderful interrogation chamber. Tight quarters, no air, bad lighting, random electric shocks. It's perfect. Bashir says sounds like he's enjoying himself. And they don't realize yet that Garak is claustrophobic. He's a claustrophobic Cardassian spy. Visitors, so they had to lock him up. Like, not that closing that little door really makes any effing difference to where he is. He's nowhere near, he can't see the hole. And Breen are looking. They're looking around. They're looking at Martok. They're looking at Worf. It's time. Worf looks back. He is ready, says Worf. I've been looking forward to this, says the Jem'Hadar. And so have I, says Worf. Martok goes out to watch Worf fight. I still can't figure out if that's a Romulan or a Vulcan. I guess it's got to be a Romulan, right? I mean, she doesn't seem very stoic. I mean, I guess if a Cardassian could survive the attack, a Romulan could have survived the attack. Worf says he's ready. Martok says you shouldn't be so eager. He points at his eye and says this is his handiwork. He said, remember, every time you get down, you got to touch one of the posts, else you forfeit the match. He says, today we train against a worthy adversary, because soon we're going to face his people in battle, in combat. The lessons you learn here will ensure victory, and victory is life. So Worf should purposely fight clumsily, so they learn nothing. So they each got to touch one of those pillars in the circle. Waha, woof, bam, boom, pow. So Worf takes the first ball, but he touches it as he stands up. Worf takes some type of pose. He does a few combat things. The Jem'Hadar falls down. He lights it up. And one of the Jem'Hadar soldiers finally walks away from his post to watch the fight so they can get Garak out of the out from behind the wall. Garak says that was thoroughly unpleasant. It's much hotter. He got a little lightheaded. And Cardassians like the heat. He says your pulse is racing. He doesn't want to think about his blood pressure. He says, if you want to get off this rock, I got to get back to work. He says, rest for 5 minutes. And from here on, 15-minute break every hour, doctor's orders. Right, because anybody cares about doctor's orders in a situation like this. And Worf basically finishes off this Jem'Hadar. Total knockout, TKO. Worf looks at the Jem'Hadar. He says, is that the best you had to offer? Nope. He was our youngest and least experienced. I promised your next opponent will provide more of a challenge. John DeMarco's Bird of Prey update from Matthew. Anti-Tracker is out of surgery and doing well. Awesome. Live with Matthew says Qapla Bird of Prey in chat. Michael got out of surgery about 40 minutes ago and is doing well. Thank you, Live with Matthew. And I assume you made it okay from your bike ride today. So you're both good. Yay. Rock Solid says Bird of Prey. TKO doesn't stand for total knockout. It stands for technical knockout. You know what TFU stands for, Rock Solid? Take a guess. So Zial is talking about her dad Even when he did something bad, he had a reason. And Kira says people can find a way to justify an action no matter how evil. Michael Garak says this episode is filled with awesome lines. It is. You can't judge people by what they say, only by what they do, says Kira. Live with Matthew is back home and cleaned up. Good to hear. A large contingent of Klingon ships arrived from Cardassian space. That's Chancellor Gowron. He's requesting permission to dock. They've got wounded. And Rock Solid says he's never heard of TFU. It stands for Technical FU. It's a dark day. Not just for the Klingon Empire, but for the Alpha Quadrant itself. And the changeling Bashir is listening. He's like, they're gonna pull back, fortify the Klingon Empire, and prepare for a fight to the death. And Cisco presents him with the Khitomer Accords. And we get a bit of exposition as to what the Khitomer Accords are, in case you're not a Star Trek fan and didn't know. He's like, this is the most fortified position between here and the Klingon Empire. There'll be a Starfleet task force here. If you could bring the Klingon fleet here, they could stand united against the Dominion. He's like, and if we do, and Bashir says we might have a chance, there he goes playing up on the fact that he might not be a changeling. And Gowron reinstates the Khitomer Accords. 5 years ago, no one had ever heard of Bajor or Deep Space Nine. And now all our hopes rest here. Not at all like a Babylon 5 line. Ah, shit, I missed that line. The tides, where the tides go, no man knows. Cisco says they're tricky, those tides. And Rock Solid says that sounds like soft putty. No, that was just me. And Bashir is making some changes to a runabout. Apparently, he often likes to hang out in runabouts alone, waiting for people. I don't know. It seems like he made quite an inconsequential change. Okay, so Worf is getting his ass kicked. This guy's trying to pull his heart out of his chest. He thinks he's in Indiana Jones. No, he had no luck pulling Worf's heart out of his chest. And Worf, did he break his neck? Did he kill him? And Worf, yeah. 5 matches and 5 victories, says Martok. You truly have the spirit of Kahless within you, says Martok. Until tomorrow, the Jem'Hadar says. Worf says, I'll be waiting. Oh. Bashir says, you have 3 broken ribs, maybe 4. He says, they'll heal. He says, not if you keep fighting. It's like, you're lucky you didn't puncture a lung. Even a Klingon body can only take so much. He says, he'll fight. Martok says, the only honorable thing to do. And Worf says, then I will die. But he will not yield. Martok says, you heard him, bandage his ribs. Garak is talking to the lights now, saying it's unacceptable that they're turning off. He says, Garak, you haven't had one of these attacks in years. Yeah, it's close space. There's not a lot of place to move. But a disciplined mind doesn't allow themselves to get sidetracked by claustrophobia. This isn't like the other thing. The walls aren't going to collapse on you. There's friends nearby. There's plenty of air. There's nothing to be concerned about. John DeMarco says all those years of getting beat up on TNG, are finally paying off for Worf. And Garak is saying, Zial, you promised her you come back. And she's had quite enough disappointment in her life without you adding to them. Control yourself. You're stronger than this. A disciplined mind. And Bashir says that's the best he can do. Asks Worf if it's feeling any better. Worf says, much better. And Bashir says, you're a bad liar. Oh. Garak is beating on the wall to get out. He's only been in there a half hour. And now they realize that he says, stop! They're going to hear, people are going to hear you. It's open now, you can come out. So Bashir goes in to get him out. Like, where the hell is he? There seems to be a lot of room. Like, it's great that we have prisons that have these corridors right behind the wall. Garak is having some type of breakdown. The light went out. Actresses Worf is winning fights. It's like Birdo Prey making long-distance snipes. Michael Garak says, damn, this episode is very meaningful to me now. Hello, Dan. And Cinnabon says it's not that tight of a space. Well, I guess it's, it depends. So Garak is listening. He's awake. They think he's asleep. And they're like, if Garak can't contact a runabout, we're not going anywhere. With just, just for luck, that the Dominion would leave a perfectly good Starfleet runabout in orbit around a prison planet. Because why not, right? Like, why take the runabout? Why not use it for some trap or take it apart to learn its secrets? No, we'll just let it be there, because why not? Well, have security pull double shifts. If they need more men, talk to Galron. I'll have sure Galron will give some Klingons to protect the station. Incoming message. It's from Gul Dukat. Sisko's taking it in his office. He doesn't want his underlings to know what he's talking about. Cinnabon says Ray would have already completed the work and blew up the prison. He's like, you're talking to the head of the new Cardassian government. Sisko says he doesn't recognize the government. He says, well, your recognition is irrelevant. Sisko says, well, then why are we having this conversation? He feels a certain obligation, and he admits Sisko saved his life on more than one occasion. Now he's going to return the favor. Give you a chance to save your precious Federation. Convince them to follow Cardassia's example and join the Dominion. He's like, I expect you to behave rationally. Joining the Dominion will save billions of lives and keep the Federation from fading into the mists of history. By allowing it to exist under Dominion rule, like, you'll like the alternative even less. Says, Dukat, if you have something to say it. I'll make it simple. I swear all Cardassian lost will be regained. That space station you're so fond of was built by Cardassia. He's like, funny, I thought it was built by Bajoran slave labor. He's like, either surrender the station, or he'll take it by force. The choice is yours. And he says, if you're going to retake the station, you're welcome to try. And he hangs up on him. Should the Federation have joined the Dominion? 7 battles and 7 victories, says Martok. Heroes of Legends couldn't have done so well, and Worf says, heroes of Legends don't ache. He says, your Federation has taught you modesty, but this is no time for modesty. He says, when they get out of here, they're going to tell him some guy a glorious tale. He'll write a glorious tale. He'll be sure to mention the healer who bound the warrior's wounds so he could fight again. Worf only wants to hear the verse that tells of their escape. What good is it defeating every Jem'Hadar if it doesn't bring them closer to freedom? And Bashir says we have a new escape plan. And Garak says that won't be necessary. The original one will work. He just has to finish what he started. After all, a verse about the Cardassian who couldn't face whatever danger would ruin the song. That would be unfortunate, says Martok. So he's going back in. Garak is all good. He just needed a good night's sleep. And he's all ready to go back to work because Martok says there's no greater enemy than one's own fears. Yep, it takes a brave warrior to face them. Absolutely true, Martok. That is good advice. We got fake Bashir. Says, wasn't Lieutenant whatever brought in here a Klingon engineer? And he can't bring heads or tails of his bird of prey. He's never going to get all the ships up and running. Bashir says, I got every confidence in you. He's like, how are Keiko and the kids? They made it safely to Bajor. Molly's getting old enough to know something's wrong. She's scared. It's only natural it'll pass. Says, oh, I ordered 2 sets of deridium alloy darts. They should be here next week. O'Brien says, darts? We're facing interstellar war and you're thinking about darts? And Bashir said, life must go on. Besides, he has a feeling things are going to turn out for the best. O'Brien says, I hope you're right. This guy's a total psychopath. They're all going to die if he had his way. Asparagus with yamak sauce. The last of his fresh asparagus. He doesn't think there's going to be much demand for human food once the Jem'Hadar are finished. He's like, aren't you being pessimistic? And Worf says, really? Quark says, really? The Jem'Hadar don't eat, don't drink, and they don't have sex. And the Founders don't eat, don't drink, and they don't have sex. He says, between you and me, it makes my financial future less than promising. Zial says, might not be so bad. The Vorta could be gluttonous, alcoholic sex maniacs. And Quark says, I never thought about that. I wonder what their favorite food is. Good news, everybody, says Cisco. Task Force has entered Bajoran space. Federation Task Force has entered Federation space. They're at the prison camp. Worf says they make us come out here, then they make us wait. And he says, is there no Jem'Hadar willing to face me? And the Vorta says, fascinating, even after all he's been through, the Klingons still thirst for battle. And he says, the Jem'Hadar says he doesn't get tired of battle. He found you a worthy opponent. It's him. Worf gets to take on the number 1. Victory is life. And Worf says, today is a good day to die. And John DeMarco says, joke's on Quark. The Vorta can't taste anything. Yeah, but we don't know that yet. I don't see how, listen, Enabran Tain even fit in there to do the things Garak's doing. Garak barely fits. And Enabran Tain was, let's face it, a bigger guy, wider, thicker. No time to get Garak out. So they want to know where the Cardassian is. Outside, I suppose. And that's enough to get a butt up to the rifle to his face. He's not outside. He tells the Breen to get up. They're looking under beds, even though it's quite clearly. He's to be put to death. Ah. Sir, he found something. He doesn't know what it is. It's a weird looking device. What is this? If you wish to live, explain this. Rock Solid with the $2 super chat says, we want the truffle shuffle. Make it happen. It can't happen on a DS9 Wednesday. I'm not fat shaming the dead, Cinnabon. I'm just pointing out that he's a bigger guy. He clearly wasn't going to fit into that spot. Thank you, Rock Solid, but no truffle shuffles today. Okay, Yukon ready. Engines engaged. That's not her voice. No. Bashir has stolen a runabout. Really? They're going to put the runabouts into battle? There's a large tachyon build up. Ships decloaking. Oh, the first time I saw this, I was so happy. I was like, oh my God, this is the greatest episode ever. The Romulans. They're requesting permission to join the fleet. I'll be damned. Permission granted, says Cisco. Sensors have just detected Dominion and Cardassian ships entering Bajoran space. ETA 10 minutes. This was it. I was so hyped. What is this? They're asking Bashir. It's either a self-sealing stem bolt or a reverse ratcheting router. He's just not sure. And then they kill the Romulan. No, they kill random person. Now they say she is next. And the smart Jem'Hadar seems to know what it is somehow. He says, sir, if you allow me. He knew which bed to move and that it was specifically for this one thing. And now Garak knew to turn off the light. John Street says, damn Bird of Prey, why are you people joining the fleet? Actors of Bird of Prey, you said not today. We know when it will happen, so why take the day off internet? So Martok is telling Worf the honor has been satisfied. He needs to stay down. Worf refuses. And even though he's not up, he presses the thing. This is a great scene. The Border commands the Jem'Hadar to finish this. And so the smart Jem'Hadar has figured out what to do, how to get back there. But he looks and it's too dark. They're all looking at each other, like what the hell's going on? What do you see? He sees nothing. It's dark. And the Breen comes out of nowhere and shoots Jem'Hadar, and then the Jem'Hadar and the Breen shoot each other at the same time, instantaneously dissolving each other. And then, Bashir takes out a knife and cuts and kills the other Jem'Hadar. And the Romulan says, my people have a saying, never turn your back on a Breen. He's got 3 more things to do. He's work fast, because we're going to be up to their necks in Jem'Hadar soon. No alarms go off, apparently. Dan23 says, Bird of Prey, the Changeling would have known a lot of medical stuff to pretend to be Bashir. But as long, well, you figure it out. The Jem'Hadar says, enough, Klingon, you've proven your worth. Worf says he will not yield. The Vorta says, what are you waiting for? End this. The Jem'Hadar says it's over. Worf says it's not over. The Vorta says, you heard him. And Worf forces himself up. Oh, and then he falls. And then the Jem'Hadar uncharacteristically says, I yield. The Vorta's like, what? He's like, I yield. I cannot defeat this Klingon. All I can do is kill him. And that no longer holds my interest. Oh my God, what a fucking line. I was clapping at the TV. The Vorta says, shoot them both. And of course, just as they're going to shoot Worf, Garak gets access to the runabout and beams them all up. And they're all safely aboard the runabout, conveniently left right above the prison. And Worf says, Garak, you did well. And Garak says, so did you, as if he'd ever seen Worf actually fight. And take us to Maximum Worf. We gotta get to the station. Gotta get a message to the station. No shit, Maximum Worf to get away from the prison? Did he really need to hear that? Oh, where are they? The warp signatures, they should be right there. He says, some type of cloaking device? He said he didn't know the Dominion or the Cardassians had them. He's picking up additional warp signatures. Bearing 183, Mach 97. All over the place, basically. And Kira says, defiant to ops. Coiner sensors the Dominion ships all around us, but they can't see them or get any type of targeting lock. Cisco's saying the same thing. They're everywhere, says O'Brien. Yeah, he says, I need targets. Might have to wait for them to open fire. He's, oh, Captain. He's picking up a priority 1 message from the Gamma Quadrant. It's Dr. Bashir, but all your listening posts were destroyed. Where's Dr. Bashir? He's not on the station. His last known location was runabout pad A, E, whatever. Cisco to Defiant, new orders. Find the Yukon and destroy it at any cost. How do you make that leap? How do you make the leap to just destroy the Yukon at any cost? Don't even hail it, and just to check if it's the real Bashir. The Yukon is headed directly for the Bajoran sun. Its shields are holding. Somebody's been doing some modifications to the Yukon. Apparently all you had to do was press a few buttons and you make the shield stronger. There's a bomb. If it explodes inside the sun, it can trigger a supernova, wipe out everything. Wipe out the planet, the station. He said, go to warp. She's like, inside a solar system. If you don't, there won't be a solar system left. And Kira puts in for warp, and they come out of warp right next to the runabout, and they pull up the tractor beam, and they tractor the runabout away from the sun, and it blows up. The runabout's been destroyed. He says, if that sun had gone nova, it would have wiped out the Dominion fleet too. Scan for those warp signatures again. They're gone, aren't they? All he's reading is normal background radiation. It must have been faked. The Dominion real fleet never left Cardassia. This was all an elaborate trick, an attempt to destroy the station in Bajor and cripple the Federation and Klingon fleets without ever firing a shot. Tell the friends out there to stand down. Armageddon will have to wait for another day. And hey, Garak made it back to the station, and Zial is there waiting for him. I told you I'd be back. She kisses him. She never doubted it. Dan says, how many times before this episode have Schiff used warp and solar systems? A lot. And Bashir says, for 4 weeks I've been dealing with a changeling for over a month. He's like, well, the clues were right in front of me. And it was a lot easier to get along with, for one. Oh. So now Worf and Jadzia are back together. He says he wants his opera collection back. He says intact. She says more or less as they kiss each other. And it's settled. In light of the new treaty and the continued threat, there will be a permanent Klingon military presence on this station. And Sisko says, I choose the commander. Agreed. Mr. Worf thinks very highly of General Martok. He thinks very highly of him, says Martok. Oh, Sisko can't think of a better man for the job if he'll take it. Gowron gives him an okay. He'd be honored. And receiving an incoming message from Dukat. He says, well, Captain, I must congratulate you. If that proto-matter device had gone off, well, the death toll would have been enormous. And Sisko says, then your daughter would have been one of the casualties. Zial made her choice. As far as I'm concerned, she's no longer my daughter. He says, you know, Dukat, I thought you changed in the last 5 years. I see I was wrong. Well, one man's villain is another man's hero, Captain. You should see the monument they're erecting to me in the gateway to the Imperial Plaza. Is that why you sold out your people to the Minion? For a monument? He's like, what I did to make Cardassia strong again. Make Cardassia great again. And he succeeded. You may have escaped defeat this time. But tomorrow. Sisko says, we'll see about tomorrow. Yes, we will. I was a little disappointed we didn't get to see Romulans on the station. I mean, once the Romulans joined the fleet, I thought we'd see them and the Klingons on DS9 going forward. I mean, but, you know, it basically just became Klingons. The Romulans did their non-aggression pack. And, yeah. So this was a great episode. I mean, even better than the first part, I'd say. There were a number of memorable, quotable lines. I just remember watching this episode for the first time. And as a Star Trek fan, in what was it, 1997, this episode had everything I could have imagined and then some. And this is the type of Trek we're likely never to get again. Certainly not with what, you know, not with the people currently in charge. And that's what's disappointing, is that we probably will never see something this great again. And, you know, we should, because why not? We deserve it. It could be done. It could be done. But Klingons, Federation, Romulans joining forces to defeat the Dominion and Cardassia. Breen were there. The Breen were even a bit of a hero. It was great. It was great. Klingons, really, really good. Klingon ships. Dukat in all his villainous glory. Good stuff. Garak episode. There was the couple of things at the end. I'll grant you that Cisco, that they should not have been able to send a message from the Gamma Quadrant, because the whole point was they specifically said their last listening post in the Gamma Quadrant was destroyed last episode. So they could have waited. They could have said somebody's coming through the wormhole and it's Dr. Bashir. That would have been perfect, and it wouldn't have changed anything. I mean, timing wise, they could have just wrote it that way, that Dr. Bashir actually came through the wormhole, and that's how they knew that the other Bashir was clearly the fake Bashir. Doing it just because he heard a message from Dr. Bashir through a somehow audio only, and immediately making the jump that the other Bashir must be the changeling, and not even giving that Bashir a chance to say anything, just immediately ordering the destruction of the runabout, no questions asked. That was a bit weird. That was a bit unbelievable. But that was the biggest problem with this episode. And if it was a shitty episode, then I'd be railing on it. But being that the rest of the episode was just so damn good, you give a pass to things like that. Cinnabon says that was a great Star Wars episode. No. Michael Garrick says she is a smash. Apparently they have smart cams in the future. Yes, the cameras follow Gul Dukat as he stands up. Wesley Crouchers is Bird of Prey. Greetings. I have to go. Have a great day, everyone. Take care, Wes. Thanks for stopping by. Dan says the Vulcan think is mentioned in Enterprise about becoming less military. Off to work I go. Take care, Wes. Nicole says, be powerful. And Josh reads his Bird of Prey. They didn't say how close to the wormhole the runabout was. Yeah, they didn't, but if the wormhole is closed, it really, I guess, well, that's true. They did have that, the trail of tears or whatever, stars, dust that left the wormhole always a little bit open so that they could get messages through. So I guess you're right. They could have been right at the wormhole. So that's the same thing as a listening station for all practical purposes. But I don't know. It just, I would have preferred seeing the wormhole open and seeing Dr. Bashir, seeing Dr. Bashir and Garak and Worf show up and Martok show up on the screen in DS9 on the viewer. And then that's when Cisco realizes the other Bashir was the changeling. But it's fine. It's fine. Dan says, I don't like... Galron says, think of it. 5 years ago, no one ever heard of Bajor or Deep Space Nine. Well, that's true. 5 years ago, I mean, it was barely called Deep Space Nine. It was still Terok Nor. Or, about that time. Josh reads a Bird of Prey. Yeah, they didn't say. Rock Stops is Bird of Prey. So it looks like John McAfee. Yeah. John McAfee killed himself, or so we're told. For those who don't know who John McAfee is, you should probably Google it or DuckDuckGo it. Sorry, I sneezed. I don't know how much of that you heard. I tried to mute the mic. Yeah. So for those who don't know who John McAfee is, he's the guy who invented McAfee antivirus. Then he sold it and it became crap. But he's a really unusual dude, and yeah, he I don't know. John Street says, Bird of Prey, Cinnabon was right. I can't believe JJ made this great Star Wars episode. Dan says, Bird of Prey, the next episode is the first appearance of this ship. What do you think of it? DD Myers says, Bird of Prey, very enjoyable episode. Thank you for streaming DS9. You are welcome. Josh reads says, Bird of Prey, didn't Ryan Johnson was the director? No, Ryan Johnson was not. Thank you, Dan. Says, bless me. Next week is the Jaeger type starship. The USS Jaeger participated in Operation Return and was part of the Defense Force to protect Deep Space Nine throughout the duration of the war. The Jaeger type. I mean, it looks cool. I don't see a whole. The pictures are pretty low detail, but listen, I don't love it. I mean, it's no Enterprise A or no bloody A, B, C, or D. It's no TOS Enterprise, but it's not an ugly ship. Not an ugly ship by any means. Josh reads his Bird of Prey McAfee antivirus was junk even before it was sold. No, back in the day when John McAfee first made it, it was the shiznit. I used to use it. It was good. Then they started selling it, and then they just filled it with bloatware, and it became total garbage. But I mean, listen, I guess people are going to have different opinions on it. But the first few versions of McAfee, those, in my opinion, those were pretty damn good antivirus. John DeMarco says they smashed together a Voyager saucer and a Marquis Raider for the Jaeger class. I guess so. It's not terrible. It's not terrible, though. They did a decent job. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go. I got to get prepared for tonight. Once again, thank you to everybody. It looks like the long journey of finding a cardiologist is finally over. I have a virtual appointment this evening, and I have an in-person appointment at my house scheduled for this Sunday. Will I eat the out-of-date spam that Mama Pray saved for me when the cardiologist comes to the house? I will ask the cardiologist what they think about eating the out-of-date spam. No, I won't. I won't ask her that. The appointment, we don't know exactly what time because of traffic, but Cinema Sunday should proceed at its usual time, 3 p.m. Eastern. Might be slightly later if the appointment goes long, but as of now, we're going to assume Cinema Sunday is still on, and I will re-verify with Darren if he's available on Sunday for a Periscope. Otherwise, we'll do something else. So Qapla all, thank you, Nicole. Josh Reed says, I have McAfee version 2 and it's 30% bloatware. Well, maybe you needed version 1. DD Myers is Bird of Prey. Good luck on your appointment tonight and good luck on Sunday. Thank you, DD. Josh Reed says, it's for Windows 98. No, then that is not. I mean, we're talking DOS. McAfee was in the DOS days. Windows 3.1 and shit. At least that's the way I think it was. I don't know what version they had for Windows 98, but you know what? I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look it up because I'm curious. When did McAfee antivirus start? 1987. Yeah, so 1987. So if you were using it for Windows 98, that was 11 years. That was 11 years after antivirus, their first version came out. McAfee resigned from the company in 1994. So, yeah. So whatever you were using in 1998 was already effed up. John McAfee left the company in 1994. I don't know what version you had, but it wasn't the first or second. Sorry, guys. Sisso Prey was calling. I do have to get going. Qapla all, thanks for hanging out. I will talk to you guys later or tomorrow. Bird out. Qapla. But wait, there's more. The video might be over, but there's more fun to be had. First, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel and have clicked that bell icon to get notifications of new videos in your YouTube feed. Share this video on social media to help this channel fight the algorithm that favors big media. Also check out www.birdoprey5.com for links to my other channels, various social media accounts, merch store, Dear Bop, affiliate links, and all your Birdo Prey 5 needs. At the main Birdo Prey 5 YouTube channel, you can find all sorts of live streams and unlisted videos, YouTube membership options, and a community section with polls and updates on the channel. On the secondary channel, Birdo Prey 5X, you can find overflow content that doesn't always make the main channel. Subscribe to both channels, please. Thanks for watching. Remember, I stream almost every day. This is Birdo Prey 5 saying goodbye, world! Until next time. P.S. Hail Sassy, hail Charlie, and of course, hail Kuroga.